Hello, everyone, and welcome to Instant Revenge. I'm Eleanor, 65 years old, a retired teacher from a small town where the crisp autumn wind carried whispers of winter. My life was rooted in a charming craftsman-style home, filled with memories of chalk dust and my late husband, a man whose abusive shadow lingered long after his death. My name is Eleanor, and this is the story of how one terrifying night changed my life forever. After my husband passed, I raised my son, Julian, alone, pouring my love into him despite his fiery temper, a trait that reminded me too much of his father. I worked tirelessly to guide him, hoping to smooth his sharp edges. Julian grew into a successful man, a regional manager in a big city, married to Clara, a kind and gentle woman. I hesitated. I loved my quiet town, my garden, my friends. But Julian's commanding tone, eerily like his father's, left me no choice. So I packed my modest belongings and left my home behind. The city overwhelmed me. Their 18th floor condo gleamed with hardwood floors and opulent furniture. But beneath the surface, something felt off. Clara's warm smile seemed strained when Julian was near. At first, I brushed it aside, convincing myself I was overthinking. Julian played the devoted son, showering me with gifts like vitamins and a blood pressure monitor, while Clara cooked my favorite meals and took me shopping. But the peace was fragile. Then came the nights that shattered everything. At exactly 3 a.m., the sound of the shower jolted me awake. The rush of water broke the silence, eerie and out of place. Who showers at 3 a.m.? Julian brushed it off as stress from work. But Clara's fleeting panic at breakfast told a different story. As a teacher, I'd learned to read subtle cues, and I knew something was wrong. The showers continued, sometimes nightly, sometimes silent, turning my sleep into a torment of waiting and dread. I began watching Clara closely. One day, while we chopped vegetables, shaped like a gripping hand, my heart sank. I'd seen those marks before, on my own skin, from my husband's rage. Clara stammered, claiming she'd bumped a desk, but her lie was as familiar as my own had been decades ago. Another morning, her red, swollen eyes betrayed a night of crying, dismissed with a flimsy excuse about a mosquito bite. The pieces fell into place, and I was haunted by a chilling realization: my son was abusing his wife. I confronted Julian, urging him to stop the midnight showers for his health, hoping to probe deeper. But his irritation exploded, and he slammed his bedroom door, cutting me off. The air in the condo grew heavy. Clara's bruises multiplied, her spirit dimming. I couldn't ignore it anymore. One night, driven by fear and suspicion, I crept to the bathroom at 3 a.m. The door was ajar, and what I saw froze me. Clara, drenched in her pajamas under a cold shower, her hair yanked back by Julian's hand. His face, twisted with rage, mirrored his father's as he slapped her. Clara's stifled whimpers echoed my own past. I wanted to scream, to stop him, but terror paralyzed me. Memories of my husband's abuse flooded back his hands. His curses, the suffocating water in the rain barrel. Instinct screamed at me to run, and I did, retreating to my room, trembling under the covers. The show's rhythm mocked my cowardice. I realized then that the violence I'd escaped hadn't died with my husband, it lived on in my son. I'd failed to break the cycle. Guilt consumed me. I couldn't stay in that house, watching Clara suffer while I hid in fear. The next morning, I announced my decision to move to a retirement community. Julian protested, more concerned about his reputation than my well-being. But I stood firm. Clara's tearful pleas nearly broke me, but I knew I had to leave not just for myself, but to find a way to help her. The retirement community was peaceful, no harsh words, no midnight showers. But Clara's desperate eyes haunted me. One day, a reunion with Margaret, a former colleague, changed everything. Her daughter, Leah, had escaped an abusive marriage with Margaret's support. Margaret's story mirrored mine, and her words pierced my guilt. "You know this pain better than anyone, Eleanor. You can't let it continue. Help Clara escape." She was right. I couldn't change Julian, but I could be Clara's ally. A week later, Clara visited me, a faint bruise near her hairline betraying another attack. In the garden, I confronted her gently. I saw everything that night. "Clara, you don't have to lie anymore." Her defenses crumbled, and she sobbed, confessing years of Julian's abuse, beatings over trivial things, humiliation, isolation. He'd forced her to quit her teaching job, trapped her with threats, and convinced her she'd leave with nothing if she tried to divorce him. I held her, sharing my own story of surviving abuse. Then I revealed my plan, crafted with Mr. Liu, a trusted divorce attorney. "Record his threats, photograph your bruises, document everything," I urged. "We'll build a case he can't deny." Clara was terrified but nodded, a spark of resolve in her eyes. Over the next weeks, she sent me evidence audio of Julian's rants, photos of bruises, diary entries of his cruelty. Each piece broke my heart but strengthened our case. Then came the pivotal moment. Clara texted me, "I'm telling him tonight." Hours later, her panicked call was cut off by Julian's roar and a shattering sound. My worst fears were confirmed. Julian called next, his voice venomous, accusing me of destroying his family and vowing to keep Clara captive. I contacted Mr. Liu immediately, and we alerted the police. They rescued Clara, battered but alive, and she was moved to a safe location. Julian confronted me at the retirement community, blaming me for ruining his happiness. I stood my ground, calling his violence a crime, not discipline. He disowned me, threatening to bury Clara in court with lies about her mental health. The legal battle was brutal. His lawyers twisted our evidence, painting Clara as unstable. Just when hope faded, a neighbor's security camera footage surfaced, capturing Julian's abuse in the hallway. It was undeniable proof. The court ruled in Clara's favor. She won half their assets and significant compensation. Free from her gilded cage, she bought a cozy condo, a true home filled with light. When she learned she was pregnant, it felt like fate's gift. After years of being called barren, Julian begged for forgiveness, but Clara and I were done. His cruelty had cost him everything. Clara asked to adopt me as her mother, giving her unborn child a grandmother. I'd lost my son, but gained a daughter and a new family. My days now are spent between the retirement community and Clara's home, filled with love and peace I never thought possible. Thank you for joining me on Instant Revenge. If this story touched you, please subscribe and share. Let's grow together, supporting each other through life storms.